So what happened? 1979 happened, and here the story shifts from geopolitics to ideology, or rather, to the weaponization of ideology for geopolitical purposes. When Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini returned from exile in February 1979, he brought with him a revolutionary vision that required an external enemy. The Shah had been Israel's partner, therefore Khomeini's revolution would define itself as Israel's opposite. Within weeks of taking power, the new regime handed the former Israeli mission in Tehran to the Palestinian Liberation Organization. Yasser Arafat stood on the balcony. But here's where the story becomes more complicated than the simple narrative of religious hatred would suggest. The Iranian Revolution wasn't primarily about Israel. It was about overthrowing the Shah, expelling American influence, and establishing an Islamic republic. Anti-Zionism was useful because it accomplished several things at once. It signaled a break with the Shah's foreign policy. It positioned Iran as a leader of Muslim causes beyond the Persian Shia world, and it provided a permanent external enemy that could justify internal repression. This is a pattern that repeats across revolutionary regimes. Revolutionary governments need enemies. They need to explain why the utopia they promised hasn't arrived. They need to redirect domestic frustration outward. Israel served that function for Khomeini's Iran the way capitalist encirclement served the Soviet Union. But here's the critical nuance. For much of the 1980s, the hatred was more rhetorical than operational. During the Iran-Iraq War, which killed nearly 1 million people between 1980 and 1988, Israel actually provided covert arms to Iran. The Iran-Contra scandal, in which the Reagan administration secretly sold weapons to Iran, involved Israeli intermediaries. Tehran and Jerusalem were publicly sworn enemies. Privately, they were still doing business. The transformation from rhetorical enmity to genuine strategic confrontation happened gradually through a series of decisions by specific leaders responding to specific incentives. The first turning point came in 1982, when Israel invaded Lebanon. The chaos of that invasion created a vacuum in southern Lebanon, and Iran saw an opportunity. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps sent roughly 1,500 advisors to the Bekaa Valley. They helped train and organize a new militia drawn from Lebanon's Shia population, a population that had been marginalized for decades and radicalized by Israeli occupation. That militia became Hezbollah. For the first time, Iran had a proxy force on Israel's border. Subscribe for more. Also, our full video on this is now live. Link in the description below.